Hello and welcome, beautiful family, to the Free to Be podcast. This is where we are free to be our entire full spectrum selves, so all of you is welcome here. I'm your host, Annalene. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. Let's dive in. Okay, hello and welcome, beautiful family, to the Free to Be podcast. We are entering the third verse from our Tao Te Ching series. So welcome. Today's episode is going to be short and sweet. Every time so far that I enter Tao mode, I can feel it like energetically. I'm like, okay, centering, and I feel just a little bit more neutral. And so right before this, I was like, well, how do I just get pumped up a little bit? Because I feel like the Tao almost makes me so like serious. However, it's also really beautiful. And I always love to use the word sincere rather than serious. I had a friend, mentor, teacher like share that with me once, and I just love that flip. But in this instance, I feel like sincere, I mean, I guess it does work here. Let's just get into it. Okay. So this is the third verse from the Tao Te Ching, and this is with Stephen Mitchell, a New English version if you want to follow along. Okay. And this is where we also contemplate it live. In case you're new here, hi and welcome. And I recommend watching 1 and 2 and jumping back in here. But that's the great thing. It's like super dynamic and accessible. You can also just trust your flow and trust that you're landed exactly where you're meant to be. Okay. If you overesteem great men, people become powerless. If you overvalue possessions, people begin to steal. The master leads by emptying people's minds and filling their cores, by weakening their ambition and toughening their resolve. He helps people lose everything they know, everything they desire, and creates confusion in those who think they know. Practice not doing, and everything will fall into place. Okay, beautiful, and thank you to the Tao. Already, immediately, there's something that I want to look up, so I'm just going to really quick do that. And let's start with the first sentence. If you overesteem great men, people become powerless. This makes me think like when we have idols, when we give so much of our own power away to something because we think it's greater than us, or they're more talented or smarter or more intelligent or more advanced than we are, when we idealize another, pedestal them, then the people or we become powerless because we're literally like placing and giving our power away to something outside of us. So, and many of us do this innocently without even being aware or knowing. And it's ironic to me, yet also not, that of course one of like the original 10 commandments is like, you shall not have false idols or like anyone before me. Something like that, fam. You can look it up. But it's like overall, a lot of these ancient texts or philosophical or spiritual or religious, like a lot of these can have beautiful truth and similarities and resonance, and different people are often pointing to the same thing said in different ways, and that's a beautiful gift of life. But also we are human making meaning machines, and so we get to play in the mystery. That's where all the beauty and excitement is. I hope that all is landing and making sense. So if you overesteem great men, people become powerless. So it's like, great, love the great men, love people, love others, honor them, but we're not saying to overesteem them. It's like there's got to be a reciprocal, beautiful, mutual honoring and respect and exchange and care. You got to keep that flow flowing. If you overvalue possessions, people begin to steal. So now it's taking it from relationship to the material, to like literal, tangible, physical things, like things that we could, like if I didn't buy this from my friend who made it, which shout out to Dee Dee, I love you so much. She has the best facial mist of all time. This one's Spirit Water. It's literally so divine. It's to die for. I love it. I love it so much. Anyways, yeah, if you overvalue possessions, people begin to steal. So like you are, again, placing it in high priority, high esteem, high value. You're giving it more power, more energy than maybe it actually, naturally would otherwise be or needs. And that creates a scenario where then people want to steal because we've put a false power or this energy into something else. Like if I was like, this is the best thing ever, it's going to heal you from every problem you've ever had. Like it would be, I'm like overvaluing it in this possession. It's going to make somebody want to steal it. I know that sounds silly as an example. This is like actually a more like nuanced and maybe not so literal, but that's the fun thing about these conversations. You can make it literal, but we can play in the metaphorical, in the sensational, in the idealistic nature of it all. Yeah, but if you overvalue possessions, people begin to steal. They're going to think it's a need, but it's a false need. Yeah, so the master leads by emptying people's minds and filling their cores. So when I read this, I think of, and I was just on a call and we were talking about how mastery literally is simplicity. Like mastery is simple in nature, really, when you get down to it. And that's beautiful. And often we can overcomplicate things. And even in the Tao, it reads and talks about how the master leads by emptying people's minds. And so that makes me also think of meditation and just how beautiful of a practice that is, how simplifying is beautiful, how it's calming, how it's safe, how it's grounding for the nervous system, how it brings in regulation, how it brings in presence, how it makes us feel safe and loved and grounded and connected. And that is mastery. That's beautiful. That's unity. So master leads by emptying people's minds and filling their cores. And this makes me think of like your heart, like filling your heart, having your heart be so turned on, alive, open, activated, amplified, and residing in the center, residing even from your solar plexus, this right above your navel, this yellow chakra, this wheel of light, this empowerment, and like all of the chakras in your central column being turned on, active, alive, grounded, rooted, present, being. So the master leads by emptying people's minds and filling their cores, by weakening their ambition, what a concept, right? By weakening their ambition. So not having to get into the mind and the goal list and what the world tells you is what you need to do and what is successful and how it should be. I need to do this. I need to accomplish these things. I need to be productive. I can't rest. I can't take a beat because I need to grind so that I can be successful, so that I can be worthy, so that I can make money, so that I can make my mama proud, so I can do whatever it might be, which usually isn't the entire truth. There's usually actually a deeper truth and a deeper need. So the master leads by weakening their ambition, letting go of the outside noise, the outside clinging, calling for your attention, these distractions, and again, simplifying, and it continues, and toughening their resolve. And so a resolve means like a strong decision or commitment that doesn't waver. Or to make up one's mind after consideration, to bring something to clarity, peace, or completion, to move from uncertainty into understanding. So toughening their resolve. This is, even if you look at from uncertainty to understanding, it's like we got to make peace with like uncertainty, because that's where so much of the growth, the change, the refinement, the mystery lives. If we can honor the uncertainty, and we can trust in God, in the universe, in life, in love, whatever that is to you, then we can lean into and begin understanding. So it says also the master is helping to toughen their resolve. So that's like we're lessening the ambition and we're strengthening the resolve. We're strengthening the peace, the clarity, the trust, the peace in the uncertainty, the understanding in something greater, the spirit of wisdom. Take that all as what feels true to you. And I'd like you to even take a moment right now to just take a deep breath in through the nose. Hold at the top. And open the mouth. Exhale, release, make a sigh. Just inviting in 2 more of those. Thank you. It's really beautiful. So we're toughening our resolve. And even with that first example, like a strong decision or commitment that doesn't waver, the root of the word decision means to cut off. To cut off from any other option. So that is definitely alive and feels important to share. I was just listening to that again today as well with a mentor of mine. Love you, Chelsea. So yeah, a strong decision or commitment that doesn't waver. Okay, so we're toughening our unshakableness, our unwavering in the residing of peace. And you know what's beautiful? We also we need to feel as humans we're alive, we're dynamic. And I was just thinking about how shaking is literally a really good practice. That's what I was doing right before this call. I love it. It helps me nourish and regulate. And you look at animals, and after something traumatic or intense happens, they often shake it off. And many times as humans, we don't really give ourselves that same time or space to do that. Sometimes we brush it off or just have to keep going or pretend like that didn't happen or put it under the rug. But that is not healthy. That's not what is going to nourish you and sustain you. Eventually, it's all going to come to the forefront. We have to meet life and like with a loving embrace and or a kiss, like however you want to. It's your choice. But this is about like walking with reverence and care and love and honor and grace over and over again, like continuing to do that. Okay, so moving forward, talking about the master, he helps people lose everything they know, everything they desire, emptying, just becoming more and more emptying. He helps people lose everything they know, everything they desire, and creates confusion in those who think that they know. This is beautiful. Like, it creates confusion in those who think that they know, because there may be a clinging on to some sort of way of thinking, belief, identity. And so when a master comes in, the Tao is speaking to like creating confusion in those people, which is beautiful, because that's what's creating a tap or a knock on that story or belief or whatever it might be that actually could maybe be limiting or self-imposed, and it can help open up to a new way of being, a more expansive, more godly, more aligned way of being. And those who are open and willing, like, to release everything they know and everything they desire, like willing to become empty, willing to, maybe as like what I feel like Christ Jesus would say, carry your own cross, die unto yourself, like die to the old way of being, the old identity, to empty yourself, to rid yourself, to cleanse yourself. Sorry guys for that sound. I really need to remember to put do not disturb on. Anyways, that's what the master naturally does. And then we're ending with practice not doing, and everything will fall into place. How awesome is that? Like, what if you could just allow yourself, give yourself that permission today, this week, to just practice not doing? Like, what a radical shift from what often the world is telling us, or we tell ourselves we need to do. It's like, actually, what if I just practiced not doing? And I trusted that everything will fall into place. That's an invitation, in my perspective, into presence, into peace, into the mystery, into the now, into the beauty, into what I feel Yeshua, Jesus Christ, is pointing us to often. And you're listening to the Free to Be podcast, so I know you're a wise, beautiful human being with an incredible soul. And even in that title, Free to Be, there's some sort of resonance with being. Your being, your soul, your heart knows this. And the Tao is talking about this in mastery. I'll read it one more time. If you overesteem great men, people become powerless. If you overvalue possessions, people begin to steal. The master leads by emptying people's minds and filling their cores. By weakening their ambition and toughening their resolve, he helps people lose everything they know, everything they desire, and creates confusion in those who think that they know. And praise God for it. Doesn't say that, but I'm saying that. Practice not doing, and everything will fall into place. And breathe deeper. Breathe softer, breathe longer, breathe more intentionally. Slowing down, meeting life. I love you so much. Thank you for tuning in. If you are into astrology and conversations about Christ, send me an email. I'll get you on the waiting list for the mastermind that will be opening up soon. Reach out to me if you have any questions or comments. Thank you so much for being here. I love you so much. Make sure you find me on Instagram, especially if you're in San Diego. Join the Free to Be Woman group on my Telegram. Links are in my bio. We're going to be doing some in-person things, and more is just on its way. I know it. I feel it. And I love you again so much. Thank you so much for being here. Yes. And have a really beautiful, blessed day. And maybe, I just feel called to mention bringing in the men as well. Like, thank you for being here as well. Love you so much. Okay. Mwah.